Still some time to come. Still 2 more nights.
Sure, that's the problem.
This morning I asked him, do you know what's the first morning? And he's like, yeah. We were finished.
It's this thing that makes it all
Yeah,
difficult.
this is 100 knots.
You feed and the buck and everything.
Okay, wat dink jy? Good afternoon, we are back, and it is an international carp tournament between South Africa and Israel. We are at Nyl. We are now on the mountainside. It's a little bit better with the sun not in our faces, so the afternoon session we are hiding this side so that we don't put the camera into the sun all the time. We are bringing you very interesting coverage on exactly what is happening here at Nyl in this international carp tournament, and we're bringing it not by ourselves but specifically with the compliments of our media partners. We've got partners that has teamed up and said, let's bring you, the public, some good viewing and let's promote angling. So thank you to TrueFeed that is making today possible. So we are on the peg of Imran and Jason from the South African team in the B sector. They have moved up in the overall to just below Dean and Loppies on the other side. 309 kilograms at the 1 o'clock weigh. So what they've also managed to do, they caught less fish, but they are just about on the same total weight. They are 5 or 6 fish short, but their average is bigger. They are sitting on 3.4 kilogram average. If you go and look on the Bank Angler Facebook page, you will see I've put a nice little graph as well as a table that looks at every way, the average, the amount of fish, the total weight, and have a look at the very last column that states the average of the fish. So we need to know and understand, and we want you to know what happened. How did they pick it up? But I must tell you, I'm on a peg here with 2 very tired young men. So we are going to stand in the corner a little bit, watch what they are doing, and every now and then bother them with a question or 2. But they are tired. They've been working really, really hard. They came into the fish and they're onto the bigger fish now. You can see what Jason is doing at the back here, and I'm actually going to stand on the side and just talk to you from there. He's feeding at the moment, so the specific spot mix that he's using, he says is specifically for the larger fish, so that the larger fish are very specifically coming in onto that, and they are building their swim quite nicely so that the bigger fish comes in. But it's really, really hard work. He's got a crosswind to deal with at the moment, and he has to put in a lot of feed. He's building up the swim for the night. And it's not just here on 30 and 40 meters. He's really casting out there. So that's very, very hard work to keep on doing to build that swim. So let's have a look how he's doing that. remember we spoke about it in terms of the spom. The spom has a pressure point switch at the tip, so you need to hit it on the nose for that spom to open. And in the crosswind, if you cast it too hard and too flat into the clip, the bow in the line pulls it right out of line. So you have to do it very carefully, and you have to slow down that spom so that the nose starts diving. So you'll see how he feathers it. Let's have a look at that. You'll see it depends on how the cast is, where it is going. He decelerates it, picks it up, see, watch his fingers, see how he decelerates it and forces it to nose dive. So have a look at that for a while. See how effective, and if we look over the water, he's really casting it on the same spot all the time. Now while he's doing that, let's just take a bit of a look at what they have on the peg and how they are fishing. Let's start on that side. The cradle right on the edge. Oh, let me start further back. There you'll see a bigger landing net, different, it's knotted, and that's only allowed to be used for barbel. So that means out of the way you can land a barbel with that knotted net, but not a carp. Then you'll see the cradle there with a landing net. Here at his feet is a landing net, so one on the left, one on the right. So enough landing nets on that side to handle those two rods. You'll also see these rods are now higher up, so that they don't have to kneel down or anything. They can do most of the work standing up. Let's have a look what happens here. There, the feeding station. There's a feeding station with 2 buckets, and then a high chair with another little cradle there, also high, where the catapult mix is in, and the spom mix or the spot mix that he's currently using is in a bigger tray, but nice and high. Some water close by to wash his hands if it's necessary. See, sometimes it happens that you just have it in the wrong spot and it unclips. Here, 2 rods again, and notice two landing nets and a cradle again. So past the cradle, you will see where all the new carp sacks are. So those are all filled. So there's a number, maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them that is already full again. So there's a good amount of fish in again. That's it. There's a reel going. Imran, that's your fish calling.
That's Justin, he's my friend. Phew.
See how Jason is doing that all the time. He just keeps on feeding, feeding, feeding.
Just call me when it's closer.
Now it's just hanging out there.
Is that a bigger fish again, Jason, Imran?
Yeah, it seems like a nice fish. It's just hanging out at the back. I'm just nursing it in slowly. Every fish counts, so we don't want to force him as yet.
Especially at this time.
When you're fishing out there a little bit further, it takes a longer to bring it in, but also it increases the risk of losing a fish if you try and do it too quick. So the resident time of the fish on the line is longer, which means that there's more time or more opportunity for the fish to come loose. That's the team from Israel. They are also onto a fish. That specific peg has also caught, on average, bigger fish. I think they are on 3.8 as a total, or as an average, which is the highest average on the bank at the moment. The other Israel peg in D zone is on 3.74 or 5, which is the second highest average.
Coming up.
And go back to them.
Nice one. Just plain nice one. Come on, faster than that.
Another nice fish. What a beautiful fish. That's the size you want.
That's them. Absolutely. Another couple of these hanging over there. Could have done a bit more.
Did you see that fall? No, we didn't see that fall neither. We know it's out there.
Will you pop it on? I'm just going to finish up the last one. Nearly, the bucket's nearly done.
So what is your target in terms of feeding? How many of those, or how much did you want to get out this afternoon?
Yeah, there isn't really a target. I mean, we're going to feed till 5 o'clock, till the cut-off. Last night we didn't, I don't think we fed enough, and the fish were on and then they just disappeared. We started catching barbel, and then all of a sudden we started catching nothing. So yeah, we're trying to make sure that we've got an absolute mountain there, and then we're just going to see, and hopefully, you know, the cats don't come in tonight. But they were thick last night. I mean, if you threw the wrong bait, it was seconds and they were on. So it was a problem. But yeah, we found a way around it in the end, and pretty cool. But this is hard work.
Well, I hope you could hear that. He said that the barbel came in quite thick last night. Now, we've seen that on many of the pegs. There were a lot of big barbel, up to that 15 kilo barbel that came out last night on many of the pegs. It was a real nuisance, a real problem. I'm going to position the camera behind Jason and show you how he manages to get that line straight every time with this specific method of feeding. I'm going to try and move it as swift as possible. Okay, so once again, we would like to thank True Feed for making today possible in terms of broadcast. And we would like to encourage you to ask questions, leave comments. If there's anything that you want to know, suggestions, please pop them on. Let's have a chat. If I don't know the answers, we'll ask somebody. You also see how he's alternating the feeding for the two different sets of rods on the swim. He feeds for the one side a few, and then he feeds for the other side. If I may ask, Jason, how far apart are your two spots? Or you're just spreading it?
It's just most probably about 5 meters, I would say.
Okay, so
It's hard to judge. So I'm aiming at the bin, and then just there's a tall tree just left of it. So that, I don't know how far that would be. 5-10 meters in real distance. Just trying to give it a bit of distance, allowing all of our rods to be fished.
okay, so spreading it a bit. What is important is that it will be on the same line all the time. So it will not be closer or further. So it's a line, but he spreads it from left to right so that all the rods can be getting some of the value of the feed.
Yeah, and unfortunately, as you get tired, so the 5 meters become 6 or 7. This is really the most difficult way to feed, to be honest. We like to sling because it's the least amount of effort and the quickest way to get the feed in, but then our average will decrease. So that's where we will definitely not be. We don't want that.
See how he feathers it? Boom. Nosedive. Perfect every time. To fish accurately and to perform at this very high level and internationally, a really high level of skills is necessary. And you can see how these chaps have actually got it all trained in. They know how to do it. It's not the first time it's been done. They are well trained, well versed, well skilled. Do it second nature, muscle memory, and they get it right 90% plus of the time. And there's a fish on.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, Imran.
We just get back before.
It's really important to get our feeding, so I can't stop and catch the fish. We've got to carry on. Because once 5 o'clock comes, we're done. Can't feed anymore.
Okay, that rod was right next to Jason, but he says he can't pick it up because he's got to keep feeding. Once 5 o'clock comes, they have to stop. They need to get all the feed in.
That's it.
Jason, maybe let's just talk a little bit about, you've just touched on, you normally like to sling because it's quicker, faster, you can do it rapidly, but here it won't work. Just talk us through that.
So it's not that it won't work, it's just that you know, we're catching large quantities of fish, and if you lose 200 grams on 200 fish, you know, that adds up. So, you know, we're trying to make sure that we keep a good average weight, and the minute that you start slinging, your average weight will decrease. We saw that against Belarus last year. I think Jordi and Vieja had to catch substantial numbers of fish more than Richard and Carl. So yeah, it's just call me when it's close. So, Imran? Yeah, we also now, I mean, we're getting into tired time now, so we're trying to help each other as much as possible before we have our showers and finish our feeding. Yeah, it's really, you know, I think throwing the spom all day is most probably the most difficult thing about this dam, because physically it just, I mean, to throw, it's 100 grams, so in 10, you're making 100 casts for 10 kilos, just for 12 kilos of feed, 120 grams. Okay, we've actually weighed it, so we know exactly how many casts you got to be prepared for per weigh, per feed. So it's a hell of a job to get 12 kilos of feed in. But the nice thing is that you can get particles, substantial size baits for them to feed on, and then your average weight pushes up.
What happens with sleeping tonight? Because you can't not sleep.
Yeah, so it's There we go. Can you quickly grab that?
Yes, grab it.
Yeah, so our sleeping patterns are a problem because last year we fished the last 25 hours and we didn't need to sleep.
No replacements this year.
No replacements, and yeah, we've got to do the whole 72. So last night was actually quite difficult because I didn't sleep well, and I don't think Imran did neither, because we were actually in the fish and we had to go and sleep. You know, you start sticking your fingers with boilie needles and stuff, so you have to. Tonight, hopefully, we'll get about 2 or 3 hours each, and then I'm not too sure how much more we get after that. So we have to sleep and we have to sacrifice a few fish, but hopefully we can time it right. Because there are times in the night where the fish do become manageable for one person. But there's also ways around it, you know, where then we target the bigger fish and stuff like that. So
Sometimes you got to go slower in the middle to go faster at the end.
absolutely, and I think it's hard. It's hard when you're in the moment. You know, last night we were catching. We could have gone and done really well and led by now, and then tomorrow comes and then we can't. You know, you can't stay awake, and that's crazy. So yeah. So that's that. I mean, we really play it by ear at this stage. We don't have any set game plan because it really is a challenge. They just bite all the time. Other than when we feed. So we feed now, in about an hour's time they'll be back on again. We've already started seeing, we've got 2 now, so, and that tempo as you slow down. And the worst part is when it slows down, the barbel are there. So, and then that's 15 minutes of play. So yeah, it's a challenge. We're gonna have to get around it if we want to run the race properly.
Have you figured out how to get rid of the barbel plan yet?
We have there's a few hook baits that you just can't put on. You put them on and you're guaranteed that you're gonna catch them. I mean, some of them we catch as you land. You don't even get a policeman on, and they're charging with certain hook baits. So yeah.
Don't know if you guys noticed, as that was hanging in front of the camera, it's a helicopter rig for the further distances and the type of silt that they are in.
Yeah, so we're catching at distance, as I said yesterday, so it's quite a challenge. You're doing everything at maximum, and we're not used to this, to be honest. Even at Bamboos, we just fished the SAs and we did really well there, and I can promise you this, that it's been harder to fish, 30 hours or 28 or whatever it is now, than the 72 at Bamboos. That's
Still got a while to go.
and we've still got 40 odd to go, so very exciting. I mean, at least we're catching nice fish. I think that helps with the adrenaline, which is awesome. When you see that big fish come up, that gives you another 15-20 minutes drive, and that's really quite cool.
Well, that's it. So from me and a very tired man, thank you to True Feed for making today possible. And it was great chatting to you. Bring those questions, put the suggestions on. Let's ask the guys. These are the knowledgeable chaps, and when we don't know, we ask them. Well done so far, and good luck, and get some rest.
Yeah, thank you very much. We'll try.
And we'll catch up with you again later,
Awesome.
Either tomorrow or...
Hopefully we're looking a bit better and feeling a bit better. I'm not so sure, but I hope so.
But your average size is improving, and I can see on the graph it's really climbing up nicely.
That's awesome.
And you are right up the top then. So just a last thing from my side before we sign out. Last year against Belarus on this peg, more than 1,000 kilograms. You think you're on track for that?
I think we are. If we can have one or two good sessions tonight, I'm hoping for 100 plus in the next 12 hours. 2 of those, and then we're right up there. And we have, I mean, we weighed 31 at some stage and 20 odd now. So we definitely, and with the weight, the size picking up, I definitely believe, you know, you get 30 fish at 4 kilos, it's 120.
You're almost at 100 fish, and you're on 300 kilos.
Yeah.
So I think you're on 90 or 92 or something like that at 3.4 average. So you need another 200 fish.
Yeah. And I mean, we're pretty much on track, because the 309 was about an hour after about 11 o'clock. So that's, and I think that we've got Imran and I caught 516 in the 25 that we were on last year. So even though we're going to have tired bodies, I think that him and I are not the type that just
don't give up.
No.
Well,
We're going to fall over before we give up.
Good luck with this, comrades of yours.
Thank you very much.
And take it slow to go faster at the end.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we are signing out for now. Let's go check out what happens at the other swims and spoil you with some more beautiful fish being caught. Signing out for now. Oh, another fish.
Just made one
When you
change.
feed, you catch nothing.
Yeah, then after.
And then after